Welcome to Scoreboard tutorial video number 2, as this will be for how to use the hockey scoreboard software, which has been provided by PCScoreboards.com. So basically you got to make sure first is that the USB thumb drive, just like this basketball one here, is plugged into the back of the computer, because without this the scoreboard will be interrupted as very often as possible. So this key avoids it because it is a paid subscription. So that's the USB there with the yellow tag on it for the hockey scoreboard. So now I'm going to show you how to open it and set it up and use all the prompts on how to use it properly. So the first thing we're going to go down to the taskbar, hover over the icon that says Hockey Scoreboard Pro. It's the two hockey sticks crossing each other. Click that. It's going to open up the scoreboard. It's going to have a window pop up. All you do is just hit continue. So this is the control for the clock operator. So sometimes the screen doesn't go over to the main board. Sometimes you got to manually put it over there. For some reason this time it went over there automatically. Whenever that doesn't happen, I'm going to try to bring it back over here to simulate what it would be like if it was stuck over here. Okay, so I'm going to simulate like it was stuck over here. Sometimes it pops over here like this. It'd be full screen, or maybe like this. You're just going to grab it at the taskbar, and you're going to, at the same time as you're grabbing it with your left clicker on the mouse, you're going to hold the clicker in and keep it held, and you're going to slide your mouse to the right, and you're going to see it start going over to the scoreboard. Now once you got it there, you got to maximize it. So it might be a little bit hard to see on this video, but you're going to hit the square button to maximize it, and it will go automatically full screen for you. So now back over to the control computer to operate it. Right now it's already set at 20 minutes. So you can always edit the clock by just putting in the period time. You're going to use your keyboard that's in front of you. We'll say 12 minutes, so we'll put 12 and hit set, and it's also touchscreen. So it's set to 12. Now the referee might say add another second or so. So we'll put 02, then hit set, and it's going to put 12. Now we could be in the final minute where they would like, say, 5.8 seconds. It should set to 5.8 seconds. So we're going to reset it to, for an example, 20 minutes. It'll set the clock for 20 minutes. Now they have controls up here for how you run the clock, but most people prefer to use the keyboard, which to start and stop all the clocks, you're just going to hit the letter S on the keyboard and it will start ticking down. The letter S is also to stop it. So I clicked it again and the clock stopped. Now if you want to do a timeout, you can just hit the timeout button on the screen and it'll start automatically count down. If you don't need to finish it, just hit timeout and it'll go back to the regular clock. Now I'm going to also show you that we have a We have a time of the day clock, which is on your keyboard. Press the letter C, and it will bring up your current time of day, which in this case it is 9:24 a.m. Now to switch it back to your timer, you're just going to hit the letter C again, and it takes you back to your timer. So now, to change the score, we have these little boxes underneath each number there that has +1, -1. You can just hit +1 and it'll tick up, -1 to take 1 away. The same thing for the other side of the board, +1, -1. Periods is the one in the center. You go up and down with it. The shots on goal, same way as the goal counting. You just hit plus or minus, and it will do it by your command. Now to put up penalties, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can select new penalty, and then that's where these two boxes come into play. Be 2 minutes, player number, put 24, hit save, and it puts the clock up along with the player number. Now, say like if we're in intermission and you only wanted the period clock to run, so we would just hit start stop period clock, and you'll notice that the penalty clock is not counting down. So we're gonna start that now. To do it with both clocks, just the letter S on your keyboard like normal, and it will start and stop all the clocks. Now there's another way you can do it manually to put in the scoreboard clocks, which I like better. You can tap on the penalty on your keyboard. I put 2:00, enter, and it puts the clock up. Same thing with the player. I tap on the player, put the player number in, select enter on your keyboard, and it brings up your penalty clock. Now, if you need to delete a penalty clock, either due to a change in penalty where you thought you needed to put it up but you didn't, or if the opposing team scores, you'll see a blue ribbon up here. I'm just going to add another one, just an example, because there could be multiples at one time. You'll see a second line of numbers on the ribbon there. So if you need to get rid of one of them, you got to make sure whichever one you want to get rid of, you just click on it, and there'll be a blue stripe that goes across highlighting the penalty clock that you have selected. Now if you wanted to delete it, we'll say the first one, we'll click on the first top one and then go down here and delete selected, and it will delete your clock. And if your other one was sitting on the bottom, the software automatically bumps it up to the top one. Now if you need to edit a penalty clock, since it's already selected, edit selected, and then this one, these boxes here will populate, and what's currently there, we'll say you need to add 2 seconds or whatever, then hit save, and it sets it up. The only other things that I can show you too is, if you're a little bit behind on shots on goal or whatever, you can just click on the shots on goal, add whatever the amount you need, so press a number on your keyboard or numbers, then hit enter, and it puts it in automatically for you. Now the other stuff that I can show you on this is the team names and images. So we got home and guest. We're going to go down to the options at the bottom, and another window is going to pop up of all the scoreboard settings. So we're going to go to team settings, and you'll see home and guest. Let's just say we'll put in Tomahawks, And then for the visitor, we'll say main. And you'll see that they are both in their text boxes. Now if you wanted to add a logo, you would just hit change. And then I have saved on the computer folders of different logos. So I have the NAHL logos, and there's a folder for each team. So since home is the Tomahawks, we're going to go to the Johnstown Tomahawks folder, and we'll select one of their logos and hit open, and it populates it in that box. Same thing for visiting team. We'll go back up to the NAHL logos and go to Maine Nordiques and select their logo, hit open, and you're going to select OK, and it's going to automatically populate them on your scoreboard, names and logos, which is going to show up over on the main board as such. So that's how that works. Now if you wanted to say like the game's over, get rid of the logos and change the nameplates back to what they were, just do the same thing. Is we'll go down to the bottom where it says options. Window will pop up, hit team settings tab. Let's hit clear logo for both. And just remove that and put home back. Home's there. And then we'll put guest. And then hit OK, and it changes it back to home and guest. And as you'll notice over on the main board, the logos are gone and the nameplates have changed. So this is pretty much a lot of what I can show you. The only other thing I can do is, like, if you wanted to do a quick reset of the scoreboard, you can just select new game, and it will ask you, are you sure you want to clear all values and start a new game? You can hit yes, and it resets the scoreboard back to all zeros, timer at default 20 minutes. Or you can always even just hit all the minuses on that, or click on the actual number and type in 0, press enter until everything's back down to 0. But new game is the quickest way to do it, because then you can always just rechange your timer back to, say, like a youth hockey game. Just change your timer back to 12 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever the period duration is. So this is all for the hockey scoreboard software tutorial. I hope this helps you out in the near future, and hope you learned a lot on how to use this. After I concluded the last video, I forgot to mention how to use the buzzer manually, so I'm going to show you that real quick. There is a button up here right by the beginning of the timer. Just hold it in. It'll do that. Or if you need to do, if you would prefer to do it on the keyboard, it will be just holding in the letter B. And just to make it clear that when the timer runs out, the buzzer is automatic. Just put 0.1 set.